If you have ever visited or lived in Burlington, Vermont, you may have noticed clogged streets throughout the city. This gridlock impacts residents daily, creating a nuisance to travel as residents throughout Burlington cannot move efficiently. All this driving is also devastating for the environment, creating air and noise pollution. According to the Vermont Agency of Natural Resources, cars make up 40% of the state's total greenhouse gas emissions. On a personal level, cars are also expensive. Monthly payments, insurance, and maintenance add up fast, and many struggle to afford it. So, what can we do to reduce the number of cars on the road?
One solution to lower the traffic volume in Burlington is congestion pricing. But what does that mean? Congestion pricing is a toll charged to vehicles entering and/or exiting a delineated area, typically a city center. By charging a toll, demand to use a road decreases as would-be drivers switch to other modes of transportation or limit the number of trips by car. By balancing the fixed supply of road capacity with demand, gridlock is reduced and driving becomes more efficient. In addition, the revenue generated from the toll can also be used to further improve the transportation network. For example, revenue could be directed towards funding the local bus operator, Green Mountain Transit, who is currently cutting service due to a lack of funding.
Recently, you may have heard of a congestion pricing system enacted in New York City. NYC is the first American city to give congestion pricing a try, and their system was implemented on January 5th, 2025. New York City was greatly successful in using tolls to accomplish their goal of reducing personal car traffic. As displayed on this graph, traffic decreased a tremendous amount near immediately after a toll was required to enter the designated area of Lower Manhattan. This can be seen by the arrow on the graph designating the traffic in 2024 to 2025, as shown by the dark blue line, having a significant decrease when compared to traffic in 2023 to 2024, which is the light blue dashed line. Congestion pricing in the city resulted in lower carbon emissions, 3,332 less hours of collective traffic each weekday, and a faster public transportation system.
Another example of a successful congestion pricing scheme is found in England. In 2002, the small city of Durham, which only has a population of around 50,000, was swamped with cars piling into its historic city center. In response, the city enacted a £2 fee to vehicles leaving this historic center. The results were dramatic. Traffic quickly fell by 85% and has remained low ever since. However, this success did not happen overnight. Only after years of planning and multiple failed attempts did congestion pricing come to fruition. Notably, residents were exempted from the toll. While this limits the success of the congestion pricing scheme, it was necessary to achieve popular support. This case study highlights the fragility and difficulty of attempting to limit car travel, even among those, such as the Durham residents, who will ultimately benefit from those car travel restrictions.
So, what would congestion pricing look like in Burlington? Burlington is a fairly easy city to enact congestion pricing due to the limited number of major entryways to the city. As you can see from this map, which displays the most traveled roads in Vermont, the majority of traffic across the state is concentrated in the greater Burlington area. The roads highlighted in red vary from the thinnest, which represents traffic of approximately 10,000 vehicles per day, to the boldest and busiest roads, with traffic of over 38,000 vehicles per day. Shifting our focus over to this map of Burlington, the orange outline roads are the primary entry points into the city. Over 100,000 vehicles use these routes daily. As this graphic illustrates, Burlington's few entry points make it relatively simple for the city to set up an electronic tolling system for the purpose of enacting a cordon-based urban congestion pricing system.
Congestion pricing, however, does have some notable drawbacks. There is always an equity dimension to consider, as some will struggle to pay the toll. In addition, the lack of alternative transport options in Burlington may make it hard to justify politically, as those who have no other option but to drive will not want to pay a toll. Finally, with so few cities of Burlington's size utilizing some form of congestion pricing, and none of these cities being found in America, there is less certainty over what congestion pricing's impacts may be compared to a larger city such as New York. Nevertheless, congestion pricing is the best option for Burlington to achieve sustainable transportation, as, unlike other options, it has the means to fund itself. This is necessary with Vermont facing fiscal shortfalls. We ask you to support proposals for a scheme in Burlington and share your feedback on how we can refine this idea. Please contact your local and state representatives to show your support, and make sure to follow us on all platforms at Congestion Pricing for Burlington. Thank you.